And this is my 2002.
Brock, we can't copy other YouTubers.
Oh. Sorry, Doug. What's up everyone, Brock Keene, 996 Road Trip here, and I want to talk to you about my latest purchase, which is a 2002 996 C4S, and why this 996 C4S was the least expensive one in the country. So I have a little bit of a history with this car already. Back in July of last year, I was on the hunt for another C4S. Something that I could do a little bit more modifications to and not feel so guilty about it. And I'd seen this car initially on Bring a Trailer, and it was a no reserve car. I figured, hey, I'm gonna, set my limit pretty low because it looked like it had some serious history. And unfortunately, I lost out by $250. I saw the car go away. I told my wife I was super bummed about it, and we just kind of concluded that it wasn't meant to be. Well, here we are, 9 months later, and the car is now sitting in front of me. The story goes like this. The purchase of the car was done by a guy who actually had followed me on Instagram and some socials in the past. He thought he was bidding on a car that was actually a really great car because I was bidding on it as well, and that was kind of his justification for making that extra bid on it because it was over the limit he wanted to spend as well. Well, it turned out that wasn't the case. It wasn't the kind of car he needed. It definitely needed some love. It definitely needed some attention. And he gave it some love and he gave it some attention, and it still just didn't fit what he needed. And long story short, it ended up in my possession here just a few days ago after about 3 weeks of chatting back and forth about all of the potential issues that the car might have. Now, the first issue that we noticed right out of the gates is the front hood. It is definitely been repainted. In fact, it's got a few blotches on it. Here, 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 here. Looks like there's another one here that somebody just dropped some paint on and then tried to polish it up and make it look good. It doesn't look good. Stand back a little bit further from the car and you look at it like, oh, it's got two different headlights. So that one obviously is brand new. That one is definitely yellowing. So we're gonna have to see if there's a solution for that. Looking at it even more, you realize that it's got this GT2 looking intake on the front, but it's actually not a GT2 intake. It's just a terrible panel gap. Somehow the bumper didn't get attached appropriately, or maybe the hood's out of alignment. Who knows what it is. Stand back a little bit further and you notice that it's got a turbo front splitter, which doesn't match on the C4S. The C4S actually had a much better looking front splitter. That might be something that just goes away altogether. All right, we're on the passenger side of the car now, starting off with this huge crease right above the headlight. Looks like maybe some Bondo has been put over that and kind of reshaped in, because there's definitely some big paint cracks that are happening right there. It looks like there's a crease, or at least there was a crease at some point here in the front fender. Probably means the car was hit or hit something on this side. If I step back a little bit further, the first thing that I notice is the lower rocker panel has been painted as well. That's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be flat black, but it's actually a nice, like, shiny orange peely black. What I'm looking at now is more paint drips. So we've got some paint drips on the door, we've got some paint drips on the rear fender, we've also got some paint drips back here that actually look like bubbles. I think there's some air between the paint and the actual metal on this section of the car. Not great. We are at the back of the car, which is my favorite view of the 996 C4S. In fact, I think it's everybody's favorite view of the 996 C4S. However, there are some serious issues going on back here. The first one that's blatantly obvious is the Carrera logo is crooked, and it looks like it's been covered in paint at some point, which I know it has because when I was spraying the car off yesterday, I blew all the paint off with a pressure washer. It was terrible. The other thing that I notice on the car is these rear bumper covers. They're supposed to be matte black as well. They've been painted whenever this car was painted, and they did a terrible job at that as well. Another thing that I noticed in traditional 996 fashion is these upper tail lights have cracks in them, and that's gonna let some moisture in, which it already has. We're gonna have to get that fixed. The only other thing that I see is the clear coat on the third brake light is peeling off. That's something that is terribly ugly, and I'm gonna have to fix that for sure. All right, we're now at the driver's side of the car, and to be honest, it doesn't look nearly as bad as the passenger side of the car. Some scratches, some things like that that can be easily polished out, but again, we're probably just gonna wrap the car so we don't have to deal with any of that. That side rocker panel, it's been painted as well, but the orange peel isn't nearly as bad. I would say the only thing that is really wrong with this side of the car is it makes me realize how bad the brake calipers are. Somebody repainted them along with the rest of the car, but when they did it, they had no idea what the appropriate Porsche script is supposed to look like. And it's awful. You guys gotta see this. Yeah, terrible. Might be my least favorite screw up on the entire car is the brake calipers, and it's unfortunate because it looks like the painting on it was actually really well done. But this Porsche script is atrocious. In fact, they should have just spelled Porsche wrong and it would have been better. All right, so the interior of the car presented way worse in photos online and in the videos that he sent me than it does in real life. However, one of the things that caught my eye immediately is the airbag cover. It definitely has come loose in the past, which means there's a chance the airbag blew. The other thing is over here on the door panel, this airbag cover also is hanging off when I initially saw it, and we had it fixed since then. So my best bet is this car's had some serious damage on this side, which caused the airbags to go off. So there's definitely some water damage around the doors. And one thing that I noticed is like right up in here, you can see where the leather has kind of just bunched up and gotten kind of hard. And that's probably from water leaking in here in the window, probably sitting for a while in a junkyard or something. So 996s are known for having terrible soft touch paint on the interiors, especially on the hardback sport seats. These are just destroyed. It's like some little kid was just sitting in the back, just kicking his cleats up against it nonstop. So that'll be something that maybe in the future we either wrap or maybe we even paint these. All right, so the driver's side of the car definitely has some damage. In fact, the seat looks like somebody wet their pants in it. It's got so much water damage all around the seat here on the back of the seat or on the base of the seat. The back of the seat looks like somebody left the window down. Same issue, water damage up here on one of the bolsters. Again, it's not the biggest deal since these seats are probably gonna come out, but if they don't, we're gonna find a way to solve that. So I still don't know what Porsche was thinking with all this soft touch paint, especially on these side sills. You can just see where people have drugged their foot over and over across it and just worn out that soft touch paint. These will probably get sprayed or wrapped at some point because they're just ugly. Some more water damage. Again, it looks like maybe the auto drop feature on the window was not functioning and maybe left down cracked because there's water damage across the top of this door card. It's not terrible. It's not too bad to look at. We're gonna see if we can solve that by putting some nice conditioner on it. All right, so that is my 2002 996 C4S. And over the next 6 months, the plans are to do some serious modifications to this car and then debut it at the Overcrest Rally here in Oregon, because this is my home state and there's no better place than to debut this car. With that said, make sure you click the like button, click the follow button, or click that subscribe button so you can see this whole process unfold.